Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys and girls, I am a retired New York City police detective, and if you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Tonight, as promised, I'm doing double duty. I just finished the stream with Pete, the lawyer you know, and our other good friend Pete, Mr. C. I'm doing double duty. We're talking tonight about the much awaited arrest of Leilani Simon in the death, the murder of her son, Quinton, 20 months old. It took over a month for the FBI and Chatham County police personnel and others from the state, local, and federal partners to search that landfill and come up with an arrest. And I want to just say thank you and tip my cap to Police Chief Jeff Hadley of the Chatham County Police Department. What a bang-up job you and your personnel did. Everybody from the fire to the EMS to the sanitation workers to everybody who came out to that landfill and searched for this little boy and brought him home. And for those of you who mofoed and mother effed the police, this is why they're silent. This is why they do the work that they do, because they're looking for justice for all the victims, whether it's a 20-month-old or an 80 or 90-year-old. That's what they do. This is what we do. And shame on you for pushing these police officers in this police department to the brink where they couldn't even respond and search for this kid because they were babysitting idiots like you out there. So shame on you guys who did that stuff. And guys, I want to play the press conference real quick, and then we'll come back for my thoughts on this great job that these personnel did over there. And Leilani, as the police chief said, you didn't deserve to be out for Thanksgiving. And kudos to them for putting those handcuffs and putting those bracelets on her and bringing justice and getting the justice that this little boy, Quinton, deserves. The wheels of justice are just starting. So let's get right into it.
Good evening, everybody. Jeff Hadley. I'm the Chief of Police for the Chatham County Police Department. I'm accompanied this evening by Will Clark with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This afternoon, Chatham County Police Department detectives arrested 22-year-old Leilani Simon and charged her with malice murder, concealing the death of another person, false reporting, and making false statements in connection with the disappearance and death of her son, 20-month-old Quinton Simon. Leilani Simon is being held at the Chatham County Detention Center and is awaiting a bond hearing. We do not anticipate any other arrests in this case. She has been the sole suspect from the beginning. On Friday, our search teams at the waste management landfill found what they believed were human remains. This afternoon, the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia, confirmed that they are, in fact, human remains. Additional testing, including a DNA analysis, is being conducted, and we have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quinton's. This is a heartbreaking development for everyone who loved Quinton, for the many people who came to know him after his disappearance, and for our department. When we first received the call that Quinton was missing, we were hopeful that we would find him alive and unharmed. But as we have been telling you for weeks, all of our evidence pointed to his mother being responsible for his death and disappearance, and his remains being found in the landfill. I would like to thank the many people and agencies who worked hard to ensure that Quinton was found, that he would have a proper resting place, and that justice would be served. First and foremost, I want to thank the FBI. We are incredibly grateful for their invaluable assistance. Their expertise, their manpower, resources, and guidance are unmatched and were crucial in our efforts to find Quinton. They were on the scene within 3 hours of Quinton being reported missing and have assisted with every aspect of this investigation. The resources they poured into the landfill search are extraordinary and are the reason that we were able to find Quinton. I can't thank them enough. Chatham County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division also deserves special recognition. Their devotion to Quinton, to making sure this crime did not go unsolved, is an example of police work at its finest. Our detectives worked tirelessly and were determined to follow every lead and uncover every piece of evidence in this case. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and Department of Natural Resources all had officers searching the landfill alongside our officers and the FBI. The support of the Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Chatham Emergency Services, Chatham Occupational Safety and Health, Savannah Police, and Savannah Fire also were invaluable in this massive effort. Finally, I would like to thank the many people who showed their support for our department during this incredibly difficult and important investigation. We appreciate those who kept faith in the system and waited patiently for evidence we needed to make sure Quinton has every opportunity to receive the justice he deserves. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Will Clark, who has some comments from the FBI.
Good evening. My name is Will Clark. I'm the Senior Supervisor and Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. 1 month ago, we began this landfill search alongside Chatham County Police Department with one purpose in mind, and that was to find Quinton and to bring him home. On Friday, search crews from the FBI and Chatham County found what we preliminarily believe are partial remains from a human child. Those bones were immediately sent to our lab in Quantico, Virginia. Additional testing for potential confirmation is now underway. It could be days before we have final results. What happened to this 20-month-old child is unthinkable. No child should be harmed by anyone, let alone the person in their lives that should be their protector. This investigation does not end here. There is more work to do. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will continue to find justice for Quinton. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll appreciate that. And we'll try to answer some questions that you may have. Just be mindful that there's many we may not be able to answer, but we'll be willing to take some questions at this time.
You charged Leilani with murder. You guys found bones in the landfill? Is that?
We found human remains. Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe the point that Quinton was
put in that dumpster, do you believe that he was alive then or had died before he was in the dumpster and then made it to the landfill?
Could you, I didn't hear the first part. I'm sorry.
Do you believe that Quinton Simon was alive when he was in the landfill? Do you believe he died before he was put in that dumpster?
I can't answer that question.
You've charged Leilani with murder. Can you speak on whether you think it was accidental or intentional?
I can't speak to that.
Can you talk a little bit about what evidence you all confirmed or learned on Friday that you all to go ahead and make that arrest specifically for today versus earlier on?
Well, as we had said from the beginning with the landfill, we had every belief that Quinton was there in the landfill. Having found what we found on Friday and the preliminary findings from the FBI that we got today led us to make an arrest today. We feel that we have a very strong case. We have put thousands of hours into this, and we believed that this was the right move today to be able to do that. She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit. Quinton
Great
deserves
job.
that.
You said that you didn't believe any other arrests would be made, or you guys?
I want you guys to pay attention to this chief. He gets emotional at the end of this. And he did get emotional right there about what he was saying. But just listen closely going forward here.
Looking into Billy Joe at all?
We are not.
And so you just to confirm, kind of clarify that you all were looking to find some sort of remains from the bodies. Go ahead and move forward with the arrest.
That's correct.
Chief, would the charges have been the same in this case had you not made that discovery on Friday? Say if this case had continued, if the search found nothing in the landfill, would you still have been able to make a case for Quinton to have justice, or how significant was this find?
Well, it was very significant, obviously, for obvious reasons. We do believe we had a strong case otherwise, but that would have been in counsel with the Chatham County District Attorney's Office, but we believe we had a strong case otherwise.
You've certainly been very personal about this, and you said at that landfill that day with the preacher behind you, you said, we want to make sure we bring Quinton home and we give him a final place of rest. You wanted him to be able to make sure he wasn't in that dump. On Friday, how personal was that find for you?
Well, it was very personal, quite frankly. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that. I mean, knowing the hard work that went into this investigation, everybody, not just Chatham County Police Department, but everybody that chipped in, the FBI, GBI, DNR, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, the civilians, you name it, from A to Z, we were 100% committed to bringing justice for Quinton, and to appreciate the amount of human effort, the amount of human emotion that goes into a case like this, and to appreciate, hopefully, that this comes to a conclusion in terms of a conviction and things of that nature. You have a lot of emotions about that. You also have a lot of emotions as just a general human being, as a person who has children. You see the impact that has on people. So if you step back and take a moment to kind of absorb that, I think that if you didn't have any feelings about that, you might have to ask yourself a few questions.
Like what is evidence collected outside of the search in the landfill, the remains that you guys found on Friday? Is there any evidence you guys found in the searches you guys did of the pool, cell phones or computers or anything that also led to the arrest?
I can't answer that.
Has Leilani's status as a flight risk changed, or did it change prior to the arrest?
No.
Chief, you say this is preliminary. You would assume there isn't other human remains in that landfill, but until you get it fully 100% confirmed that these are Quinton's remains, what makes you confident to make the arrest today?
I can't get into the high level of detail, but just on some of the preliminary information that we got from the FBI, we have a high level of confidence that those are Quinton's remains. And we felt that we needed to make the arrest today because that was the right thing to do.
There's a
When you
lot
say
of pressure
human
in the last.
remains, what kind of remains are we talking when you say human remains? Any more specific details about?
No, ma'am. Go ahead, bro.
Chief,
Okay, I just got to stop it there because we heard clearly the FBI agent said bones. This police chief is trying to keep he doesn't want to keep repeating to the media, but it's out there. They said they recovered bones. A 20-month-old in a landfill over a month, in the elements, decomposition, you have bones. I said earlier in one of the live streams that I did on this case, they're looking for clothing, they're looking for bones, and they're looking for hair, and they're looking for teeth. That's it. That's all they were looking for.
This case has been one that has made national news.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of pressure against you personally with your name out of the mouths of protesters, out of the mouths of the people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten a lot of pressure about making this arrest. Standing here today and knowing that you have this key piece of evidence that you just said, what kind of message do you send to the community for the people, that had your back, that said, yes, we're going to wait on the police to do this, and then to the people who said this arrest should have happened almost 50 days ago?
Well, I didn't honestly feel a lot of pressure, quite frankly, only because I believed in our investigative process, the expertise that we were seeking that was around us, having a little bit of experience, in this profession. I understood people's perspective. I understood that, some people had their own strong feelings about when an arrest should be made and things that were going on. But we stayed focused on what we know and what we know how to do. And in conjunction with the FBI, we stayed the course. And so to those folks that supported us, to the citizens that believed in us and believed in our department, I thank you. And for those that had questions, that's their right to do so. This is America. You can have all the opinions you want, but I'm just so proud of our team and where we're at today.
Emotional.
As far as today's conclusion, do you feel like there's a sense of relief as far as you all, officers, FBI agents, to come to an arrest to go ahead and move forward with this case?
Sure there is. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that there was, some weight lifted off of the organization and particularly those detectives and investigators who were completely and 100% committed to seeking justice for Quinton. So there is a little bit of relief, but be mindful there's still a lot of work to do. And they're dedicated to doing that. And we want to see this to successful prosecution.
I got a two-parter. Is the landfill search over?
We haven't made that decision yet. That's a decision point that we'll come to once we're able to get some more analysis done, and we'll confer with the FBI and see what the best course of action is.
And Leilani is also charged with making false statements. What false statements did she make?
I can't get into that.
Is she cooperating with police right now? Is Leilani cooperating with police?
She's at the Chatham County Detention Center right now.
And so I want to go back to the initial question that I asked about whether or not you guys found bones in the landfill, because Mr. Parker said bones, and you said human remains. Which one is it?
Well, human remains, some of them are human bones, and some other evidentiary matters.
And as far as the bond, is there, do you all have any updates as to when that will be the bond hearing, when that will be?
I do not have that confirmed. I do believe it'll take place tomorrow, but I don't have any time or any confirmation on that. We did, take her to the detention center rather late in the day. So I'm sure that information will come out pretty soon.
Leilani made a statement to me that she would turn herself in. Was there any talk of giving her that opportunity?
No.
Chief, you said in the beginning that when we're at the landfill, you said that there's a very specific dumpster that this child was put in. Can you just give us the location of that? How far this was from the house where Quinton was last seen?
I can't give you that information.
I just have one more question. Can you just give
Last
us
question.
An estimate on how long this analysis could take of what you guys found?
It could take up to a week. And I have one last comment.
This is amazing.
I want to thank you guys. Because just like sometimes law enforcement gets the short end of the stick, you guys get the short end of the stick too. And you guys have been amazing, our local media throughout this. You've been fair, you've been direct, you've asked good questions, and you've, given us some deference when we needed some deference. And so I just wanted to say thank you for your work that you do every day. Thank you.
Amazing. That was a great press conference, and that police chief Hadley is a complete and total professional and a gentleman. But I want to just remind you that he said we stayed focused when asked about community pressure and public pressure. He said we stay focused on what we know how to do best, and that's a testament to not just this department, but that's a testament to the mission statement of all law enforcement across the country. So for those of you who are, have a keen appetite for information and a want and a need for information, when it comes to a case like this and many others, you cannot and they will not give any information out, because you're talking about bringing justice for a 20-month-old baby boy who was thrown out allegedly by his mother. And here's footage from that landfill where every day, Monday through Friday, the FBI in the Tyvek suits and personnel from different various departments sifted through garbage because this boy was discarded by the one who gave birth to him in a dumpster and taken here to this landfill. And this is what the law enforcement go to work every day to do, is to bring justice against evil people who would do something like this. A sick, evil monster does this. All right. So I just wanted to just play this because this is where his remains, the bones, were recovered. And a forensic anthropologist and the various forensic pathologists at the labs will be charged with making 100% positive ID. They're not going to go and do a press conference if Quantico, that's the FBI's headquarters, did not take these remains and make a tentative positive identification on it. They would not put handcuffs on somebody that they waited an extended period of time to handcuff and place her in custody if they didn't feel that they had 100% his remains. And at this time is the beginning of the wheels of justice. He talked about the FBI. The FBI responded within hours to this location. Now, granted, Georgia and Quantico are in close proximity where this location is. So the FBI's main headquarters is right there or close by, right? So that comes into play here. But these personnel have been working tirelessly on this case since day one. So it's a testament to the unbelievable work that the FBI, state, and the local partners did on this case. All of those man hours, that banner that we saw, that big, huge banner of Quinton Simon at the site. I can go and pull that up, but I don't think I have to. You guys saw this, right? Ed Wallace and I showed you the banner that was displayed outside of this location, a picture of that innocent little baby. And again, I can't overemphasize we can circle back to the buffoonery that went on in this case in the name of money. The buffoonery that went on was despicable, disgusting, and disgraceful. And for people and YouTube channels to interview Leilani and have her and her mother on their YouTube channels like they're their best friends, she's now behind bars, standing in it. She's innocent until proven guilty, but she's charged with murder of her son, falsely reporting, making a police report, and unlawful disposal of human remains. These are serious charges levied against her. Is that somebody you want to nestle up to? Is that somebody who you want to have your friend, be your friend? In the name of what? YouTube subscribers and money? You know, for me, I say,
oh, hell no.
To that every day of the week. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I spent 2 decades hunting this type of evil down and bringing them to justice. Do you think that I or any of us should want to snuggle up to somebody that stands even remotely accused of something like this? Think about it. What's the motivation behind that? It's despicable, it's disgusting, and it's disgraceful. And I don't care what anybody thinks about me saying that, because I feel very strongly about that. So anybody that's doing stupid shit like that, I don't want nothing to do with. They can go this way, I'll go that way. I think it's very telling that the babysitter of Quinton Simon, right? I believe her name is Diana McCarter, right? The babysitter organized a candlelight prayer on Friday. We heard in this press conference, the FBI agents and the chief of police say that they recovered these remains on Friday. Unbeknownst to this babysitter, she was out praying for baby Quinton on Friday night. She was out on the front of her porch with numerous people from the neighborhood on her front porch with candles and praying, with signs that say the world stands for Quinton Simon, justice for Quinton. And little did she know that they had recovered his bones, his remains. So I want to play this for you guys. And they were praying. They had crosses. Some of them, I believe she was holding a cross. So let's add this to the stream and you guys take a peek. This is some news coverage from Friday night. This is the night that his remains were recovered and positively identified.
Tonight, Savannah community holding a vigil for Quinton Simon. The toddler hasn't been seen in the 44 days since the 20-month-old went missing and is presumed dead. Our Andy Cole was there and reports those praying at that vigil were praying for answers.
And they got him.
Diana McCarta was Quinton Simon's babysitter for 10 months.
We think about him every day. We pray for him.
But since October 5th, when Quinton disappeared, it's not been the same.
It's been really hard to come outside and look that way and not see Quinton.
Friday night, McCarta and 3 others, heartbroken over Quinton, invited the community to a candlelight vigil.
I feel like that Quinton deserves this. I feel like that he deserves to have something done in his name. And it's always good when you can get together and pray. For in Jesus Christ's name we pray these things. Amen. Amen.
The crowd of a couple dozen gathered just feet from where Quinton was last seen. While police weren't stationed for the vigil, they were seen lurking near the group. There's no wonder why. The last 44 days have been difficult for everyone living on Buckhalter Road.
We've been through things. I just think that it's awesome that so many people still have love in their hearts and they can come together and show love for Quinton the way they are.
10 miles away, FBI experts wrapped up another week searching for.
And again, unbeknownst to the news reporters doing this report and the babysitter, they had already recovered little baby Quinton Simon's bones here on Friday, as per the press conference. So it's just interesting, and you things that make you go, huh, right? And they were out praying. They were praying on Friday night, and people holding candles and people praying.
Working near the group. There's no wonder why. The last 44 days have been difficult for everyone living on Buckhalter Road.
We've been through things. I just think that it's awesome that so many people still have love in their hearts and they can come together and show love for Quinton the way they are.
10 miles away, FBI experts wrapped up another week searching for Quinton's remains in a landfill. Police Chief Jeff Hadley told county commissioners Friday that they would continue scouring the dump until at least December 9th. In the meantime, those at the vigil are praying for answers. In Chatham County, I'm Andy Cole, WJ.
I mean, if that didn't give you the chills, I don't know what would. But I certainly got the chills from that when I saw that report. It's just, again, so many people pointed the finger at this woman. And, there's questions in the chat. I see you guys in the chat talking about grandma, right? Grandma had custody of Quinton, and she left Quinton with Leilani, and look at what happened, right? So people are saying, why isn't she arrested? Let me know in the chat here by pressing a 1 if you feel that, or you question, put a 1 in the chat if you question why grandma is not arrested on some type of charges of neglect, and put a 2 in the chat if you feel she shouldn't be arrested. Because we heard the police chief say that there's no further suspects and there's going to be no further arrests. That's as per the police chief. And I knew that the result of this poll would be overwhelming number ones. But just hear me out on this. We do not know the exact surroundings of why and how Quinton was left with his biological mother, who no longer had custody of him. The custody was granted to grandma, right? Billy Joe had custody. But we don't know if there was some type of court arrangement or if there was some type of stipulation behind the scenes, because we don't have access to what the police have access to. Because if you think about it, if the police knew that it was intentional and that she left the kid, the baby, with the mom so she can intentionally kill him, then that's a whole different story. But if there was some type of emergency situation, or if there was something unbeknownst to us, and this child was left with her on a temporary basis, or if it was court-ordered visitation, very good, Fuzzy Doxy, thank you. But we don't know. We're all basing our rage and our anger based on our feelings and our thoughts. So now I'm not saying that I know, because I don't know, and neither do you. So the bottom line here is to sit and go at that mob mentality of lock her up. We see what that looks like, and it's ugly. We saw that outside the home of Leilani. That's the police job to lock her up if and when it's right. And this police chief said it at the press conference. We waited till we had all of our ducks in order. And when it was right, we made the arrest. So, again, don't place your anger at me, because I'm looking at both sides of this thing. And if the police had probable cause to place the grandma under arrest, you could bet your bottom dollar they would lock her ass up. If they had probable cause that they could present to the prosecuting attorney, to the district attorney, it would be no sweat off their back to place another pair of handcuffs on her. But because they didn't have that, they don't just go and do it based on anger and thoughts, personal views and feelings. It's not how our criminal justice system works, ladies and gentlemen. And if you feel that that's the way it works, then you're sadly mistaken. I want to say thank you to Dreamcatcher for becoming a channel member. And I also want to say thank you to Lee here for the super sticker. Thank you so much for that. And all of the moderators and all the folks who hear in the chat, the conversations that you're having are all unverified information. If you want to go based on some person's live stream that hosted the grandma and Leilani, then you're listening to a bunch of lies. You're listening to a bunch of deceit. I have a video that I'm queuing up next that you are going to want to puke yourself. So I'm going to put the disclaimer right now. Here is a disclaimer of trigger warning. Mods, put it in the chat. Trigger warning. Because we're going to listen to Leilani Simon say, if I'm guilty, I'll turn myself into the police department. And take a good look at this woman. Take a good look at her. And realize that there was people on YouTube that were hosting her like she was their best friend. Sending Amazon gift wishes and Amazon lists and sending clothes and blankets and all kinds of bullshit. Not something I would do.
Oh, hell no.
All right, here it goes. Don't say I didn't warn you. You guys ready? This is going to be nauseating.
They've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quinton disappeared, but Leilani wants to have gone on still.
Here we go. Puke worthy.
With no sign of Quinton. I talked to Leilani as well as her mother, Billy Howell, who were both just distraught over Quinton's disappearance. They say they've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quinton disappeared, but Leilani wants everybody to know that she's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quinton and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening, if that's even understandable.
And now Ed Wallace and myself, when we watch this video with you guys live, I said to myself, look at her mother and look at her mom, the way she turns away from her in disgust. And you're going to see it again here. So, trigger warning again.
You wake up every day angry, hoping what's happening, if that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quinton is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want.
Isn't that amazing right there? That this 22-year-old monster, who is innocent until proven guilty, obviously, is able to sit there and say that. And her mom, look at the body language there. Look at how she turned away. Because I've heard her mom say that she can't believe her daughter because her daughter lies and is always high. That's coming from the mom. By a show of hands, who remembers hearing that? She said it on camera on an interview with the news, not on some YouTube channel. She said it to a media outlet in an interview. I can't believe my daughter because she lies. Well, she did a big zinger here, folks. She did a really big zinger. And she went on camera in this interview and spewed lies.
Great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they were hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Chatham County Police say they have no reason to believe that Quinton was abducted or kidnapped, and they have evidence that suggests he was placed in a dumpster and that his remains are in the landfill that they're currently searching.
Well, there you have it. Here we are. Fast forward to today, ladies and gentlemen. That was the truth. The police knew that Leilani disposed of her son in a dumpster. And we're going to hear more about this. But we're not going to hear about this until it hits trial. Jennifer Nobles, always good to see you. Thank you for joining. Boots on the ground on Orrin and Orson West and Searing Classic in Bakersfield, California. Thank you, Jennifer, for all you do and what you continue to do for our boys. That's justice is coming soon for them. This is not surprising to me, because we see this over and over again. We look at perpetrators. We look at perps like Leilani and Chris Watts and various others who come on camera and put these crocodile tears together and talk about, I miss my boy. Get out of here. Get out. I'm looking for the proper one. Where is it? Where is it?
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
There you go. I'm going to play it one more time for those of you in the back room.
He's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quinton and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening, if that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quinton is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us.
It's gross.
That's what we want. we're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they were hoping that, you know, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Disgusting. It's just, you know, I needed to play that because I want you guys to see how tricky evil can be and how we as police investigators have to decipher who's telling us the truth and who's being deceptive. When I saw that interview, it's on here, it's on my YouTube channel. I said she reeks of deception. I even said that her own mother didn't trust her words. And by that body language right there, by the mom turning away, that's classic. Like, oh no, we're not going to go through this again. So I want to show one more thing. This is the Twitter of Chatham County Police Department. And this is, I believe, her mugshot in the essential booking, in the bookings. And that's from today when she was booked in, I believe. Hold on, let me make sure that is. Yes. There's a booking. She's got the turtle suit on. You could see it, the green breakaway suicide turtle vest. And that's it. I want to just see if I can scroll to the part. Here's a couple more photos that they posted in the days prior. This is from November 14th. And you could see personnel in that landfill day in and day out, searching through garbage to find small little bones of a 20-month-old baby, looking for teeth, looking for hair, looking for clothing and particles. I send prayers and strength to those men and women who are out there every day. And when people criticize them for taking the weekends off, shame on you. Shame. For those of you who continually fight against the police and make their jobs more difficult, shame on you. Because look at the end result. Look at Bakersfield, California. It took Bakersfield Police Department 1 whole year, but they arrested Trezell and Jacqueline West. Were they mother effed? Yes, they were mother effed, but not on the level that we saw here. The level that we saw here was over the top, and it was driven by jagaloons. It was driven by people who purported to support the police when in fact they don't. They went into that community and caused havoc. They caused extra work for a stretched department that was digging through trash for this kid, for this baby. Shame. Despicable, disgusting, inexcusable, not to be anywhere near me or any of the likes of anybody that's good. And here's the photo I was looking for, folks. This is an American flag and a big, huge poster of Quinton Simon at that landfill. This is dedication. I'm going to go full screen with this. That's dedication. That's emotion. That's police work. And you see these trays in front of this woman. That is pieces that were taken from this landfill and need to be looked at. That's pieces of potential evidence. So I want to leave that there for a minute, but I also want to continue to go through this Twitter feed, because these guys and girls, again, we're working on this. This is the Chatham County Police Department's official Twitter page, and it is just nothing but posts about this baby. You could go onto Twitter and check it out. Day in and day out, posts. Up close and personal, folks. So there you have it. I think we covered enough of this. I think I had one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Chatham County Facebook page. Another great page dedicated to all of the cases that they cover, and go over and support these guys. Like the page, subscribe to it. Let me look at the chat real quick. I want to say hello to everybody and thank you so much for being here. Friends of Crime Time with DutyRon. That includes Joe Murray, DC Prime, Planner Life, DC Prime saying justice for Quinton. Hold on, just looking at the chat, saying hello to some folks. Who else is here? Just want to say thank you to the mod squads. There's Emily, my very first channel member. Thank you, Emily. Beamer 650, good to see you. Schmitty in the building. Thank you. Unsolved Crimes, thank you so much for being here. All right. Joe Murray doing the defense attorney. How do we know she did it? I think the police know. They got a lot of evidence, Joe. And we'll hear about it. We'll hear about it coming up when the trial commences. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. So let's see. I'm going to look a little bit more at the chat. Cherry is here. Integrity, Bobby. Who else? Susie, Canadian Cookie, Don Hagerman, Mac Randall Jr. Wow. What a crowd tonight. Polka Dots. Dr. Ed Moskowitz is here. Sassy Patriot. I love Sassy Patriot. Awesome. Awesome screen name. Thank you, guys. All right, listen, I always like to do that and say hi to you all because you guys are worth it. Joe Murray chiming in the chat using his free channel member. I got to go to my secondary device. It says, great coverage, Ron. Thank you. Yeah, Joe, again, innocent until proven guilty. We know that, right? But I mean, the police from the get-go, they called her the prime suspect. They stuck to their guns. I have to believe that they have to have strong evidence. I hope and pray that they do, and I'm confident that they do. But we'll see how this unfolds, and we'll cover this case. And you know, I'll cover both sides of it, Joe. You know how it goes here. So I'm going to wish you guys a lot of love and respect from my house to yours. I'm asking you, please consider giving this a thumbs up. If you support the blue, if you back the police, you back the blue. I'm a retired New York City police detective. I really would appreciate your support by subscribing and also hitting the thumbs up. You know, I responded to the World Trade Center in 1993, and also in 2001. You know, both of the bombings at the World Trade Center, I was there for both of them. My police career spans 2 decades of fighting crime and bringing evil to justice. And I really, really would appreciate your support for Ed Wallace and I by subscribing, by hitting the thumbs up and engaging with us. Leave us a comment down below so we can continue that conversation. Some of the greatest parts about YouTube is that even after the live stream is over, you can send a message straight to me or to Ed Wallace right down below in the comment section. We scan that comment section on a regular basis. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of comments are left there. And we do the best job that we can to answer all of the comments if we can get to them. I sometimes answer comments after 30 and 60 days that I miss. So thank you, Brandy. I appreciate it. Jules Cares is here. Karen Solak, Grace Green. Thank you. Thank you. Sassy Patriot again. Dawn Marie, Kimberly Culp. You guys are all amazing. I thank you for hanging in there on this double live stream. You know, it's a double live stream. Thank you for that, Deborah. Thank you for that reminder. Everybody, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. It's coming up Thursday here in the United States. But guess what? Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., I'll be live with Barbara Butcher, Ed Wallace, and we're going to be talking about the autopsies of the victims in Idaho. Idaho University, it's an ongoing case. 4 slain college students murdered in their own dwelling. Barbara's going to talk about the knife used in that attack and the autopsy cause and manner of death. We're going to get into it at 8 p.m. Eastern. Look for that video scheduled sometime early tomorrow. Ed Wallace will be joining. You're not going to want to miss this one. We're going to ask the questions. Barbara Butcher, very, very experienced New York City Medical Examiner's Office Chief of Staff. She's going to be joining us tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about her book. Her book is coming out in 2023 in June. So look for that live stream. Now, 2 today, 1 tomorrow, and then I'm off until after Thanksgiving. So guys and girls, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially our tiny victim, Quinton Simon. We send strength, prayers, and positive vibes to that entire community. Everybody who's mourning the loss of this little young baby, this angel. I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love from Crime Time with DutyRon. Thank you for joining.